for Arsenal, anyways, the Champions League campaign is near enough to perfect. Our shittest performance across all 4 competitions is the Premier League. We've never been in this title race, and it pains me to say, congratulations to Arsenal and Liverpool. We were never in it. City are behind us. They were on top of the league table more times than us. I'm sure even Man United, obviously Liverpool, we never made a real go of it. And I think a lot of it is a consequence of what we did or didn't do in the summer, having the depth, having the quality, keeping players fit, different solutions, etc. Now, it's a bit weird because we've got 3-4 defeats, and you obviously need to look at when you lose as to how you can get better. The draws, there's not one singular reason. I think there's many different ingredients in what serves as a cocktail of our season. But yeah, man, it is what it is. Even if those 14 draws, and it could even be 15 today, could have been halved, what conversations are we having? But you lot let yourselves down, man. We let ourselves down. I feel sorry for the players. Obviously, they're the ones playing. I don't feel sorry for Mikel Arteta. He ain't involved. 2022-23, great attacking football. Last season, great defensively. You haven't evolved, haven't found ways to pivot when things are going wrong. The people above you, Mikel Arteta, because I criticize you and praise you, I think your heart's in the right place. You look at the summer, all right, cool. We didn't do what needed to be done. January tells me everything I need to know, because if we just consider the fact that, let's just assume Mikel Arteta was deluded, I know, and thought we don't need any players. We all know the climate in January, right? Let's just assume he said he didn't want any players. Those above him, if you're genuinely serious about rescuing this title challenge, getting over the line, really getting over the line off the back of 2 seasons coming into now, you don't do what we did not do in January. We got to remember, yeah, we were offered Ollie Watkins. We didn't get him, but we didn't go and get him. That tells me everything. The bubble is burst. It's serious self-reflection. You lot have shot yourselves in the foot from start to finish. At the start of the season, if I had to visualize that moment, it would be playing the last home game on the final day and lifting the Premier League. That's what I had in my head. All right, fair enough. Laws of attraction, thoughts become things, manifestation, all that kind of jazz, people. Now, with everything we've gone through in the last 11 months, I think we can all hold our heads up, but still have that pain in the tummy. But why for that? Because that's what we want to achieve. Arsenal have now gone 5 straight seasons without silverware, having been knocked out of the Champions League Carabao Cup semi-finals, while they were knocked out of the FA Cup 3rd round by Manchester United on penalties. Congratulations to Man United. And yeah, penalties, luck of the draw, it is what it is. We all know it shouldn't have got to that. We should have put the ball in the back of the net. We haven't got clinical players. We can, and I've been saying this for years, we can hide behind, yeah, we've got 100 odd goals. We are going to score goals. But when it truly matters, who's going to get those goals? Who are you going to bet your hat on currently in this squad in August is going to get X amount of goals? It's only Bukayo Saka in the front line. And then if we're keeping it a buck, it's probably Kai Havertz. He's surely still our top goal scorer in the Premier League. It feels like we need too many things to go right for us to get to where we want to get to. And obviously, again, my energy is not with the players. I think they've been running to the ground. I don't think they've been helped. I've seen players play with injury, players that I don't necessarily rate, do a thing. I feel sorry for the players. Gaffer, you ain't involved. People above you, excluding Berta because he just walked in, you have to hang your heads in shame. Because, yeah, you got Champions League, you're back in you got Champions League football again, and it's a semi-final since 2009. But at the end of the day, I think you lot have been bloody good in the last 3 years, not really so much this year. You haven't got over the line. And it's down that point, regardless of the trophy. And I think, I can't pronounce his name, Glasnier, he said it rightly, you know, for the fans to be able to give them happiness away from their private and professional lives and love football. There's nothing set in stone. There's nothing. And if I'm the players, I'm looking around at people above Mikel Arteta. Very funny. I don't think the players have down tools and they've given up on the guy and all of that. But as a football club, you're not moving serious. We're either the best thing since sliced bread to some, we're the worst thing to others. The truth is in the middle. We've got some good foundations, some good things to build upon, but we're not doing enough to get over that line. And 3-4 years is long. There has been regression. I said in the summer, we're either going to go up the gears several levels or we're going to go down. In the champs, probably gone up the levels. Premier League, it's been horrible. The points dropped from winning positions, the cheap goals that we've conceded. You know, sometimes we've not been able to necessarily win at our worst. A lot of the time, we've dropped stupid points from winning. The statistics around dropping points from winning positions and actually conceding goals from set pieces. Even if in these 3 years, yeah, we was heading into the summer, so our 4th year. Even if we had a great 3 years where we won a Premier League title, so picked up some domestic cups, maybe even won the Champions League this year, I still maintain this is a very important summer. 3 years is a long time for people to be together. The squad needs to evolve. If you don't evolve in life, you die. From a footballing sense, we have died. And again, it shows how far we've come because I'm not excited or happy. We're not even set in zone to finish second. I'm not happy to be second or to say we got to 2 semis. That just tells me there's something here. We are not that shit. Think about it logically. As much as people want to run jokes about Arsenal, we have to hold that. We are getting bantered for not getting over the line and not winning trophies. If people expect you to win trophies away from agendas, you've got to be a decent side. Anywho, moving away from that, as I said, there's not one reason. There's red cards, there's plenty of variables that have played a part that are out of our control. And I think there's more that's been in our control. Having the depth, having the quality, being able to pivot on the fly during games. We can't just bury our heads in the sand. But football's an emotional game. Whatever helps you sleep at night. Apparently, Arteta said red cards and injuries for sure. The Gunners have endured more injuries than any other Premier League team this season, while 6 sending-offs are also a division high. Maybe there's something around discipline. Clearly, there's something around how we are judged with refereeing and elsewhere. Injuries. Because there's been 3 different years, 3 very different contexts. And the bottom line is we haven't got over the line. So how do we do that? We have seen what one injury can do. Where Saliba a couple of years ago. We saw last year, everyone was relatively fit. Did you have Thomas Partey, Tomiyasu and Timber? We've obviously seen this year, and kind of what's happened this year, we've seen that at other clubs. We all said we don't have the depth when everybody's fit, if you assume everybody's fit at the football club. And even when you say if everybody's fit and you stress test our squad, anyone can get injured, even the more durable players, as you've seen with Rice, with Saka, with Martinelli, you get where I'm going. We ain't put our best foot forward. So I'm not really trying to hear this, man. I'm not really trying to hear this. But anyways, but without that, we don't know what would have happened. Would we have been much closer? For me, the answer is without a question. Yeah, probably closer. But again, would we have got over the line with everyone's fit? Probably not. Because of what we've been producing and the performances that we've had. But we're going to do something else next season because the bar will be raised. You don't need to rise the bar internally. And externally, there's going to be a lot of pressure. Smash the like button. When you look at the points that we've had in the last 3 years, the consistency of not winning a title is very rare. It's true. But again, learning from others. Liverpool have been the only team City are going to be back next year, but Liverpool have been the only team that have won a couple of battles. If it was a war, they lost the war. Everybody's lost the war against City because City have won more than everyone else. But they've shown it can be done. And yeah, you could look at the points this season and the points we had last season and think we can win. That's great, but that's nothing to do with this present moment. We've seen Liverpool get 90 odd points and not win the title. So we know the margins are fine. Mikel Arteta, you know the margins are fine. Forget what you've done at Arsenal and whatnot. Have you not worked at City? Oh, you can't stand in the rain and complain you're wet, man. This is where I find this, if I'm honest, this is just fucking excuses, bro. And it's not wrong, but there needs to be balance to it. Anyways, so we are very close in probability so much. We have to continue to be there and be better. We need to evolve. This is probably the season Arteta as a manager, forget Arsenal for a sec, has to learn. One number is availability. Without that one, you have no chance to win anything, which I think Arteta is a bit annoyed at people above him because he keeps saying them kind of comments recently. There's some other statistics that are very, very relevant to winning football matches, not just dominate them, but to win them. Just put the ball in the back of the net. Put the ball in the back of the net. Simple as that. Kill games when you need to kill games. And if you can't win, don't lose. But we are very clear on what brings success to us and what we have to do, then work on them, be more efficient and be better. The other one is capacity to change games every 3 days and during the match. That's where we have a big margin. Okay, cool. I'm with that. If you look at Arsenal's contracts expiring in the next 2 years, Berta, as we know, has got a lot to focus on. Partey, there's rumours of signing a new deal. At this moment in time, his deal is running out at the end of the season. Jorginho's linked with going back to Brazil. Trossard, there's rumours of a new deal. As it stands, it ends in 2026. I think Trossard, like Tomiyasu, have the option of another year, but there's something there. And Tomiyasu, I think it purely comes down to availability, and your days are numbered if we get another season where you've played 6 minutes. Zinchenko, obviously, unfortunately, big up you on your debut season, but we've evolved past you, Zinchenko. You could only stay if we fail to get offers for you or you don't accept anything, and maybe you're used more in a rotationary kind of role, maybe even in midfield. I'm not saying these things would have worked, yeah, but again, kind of going back to what I said about Arteta needs to learn. Sometimes needs must, and he's done things because needs must. And I'm not saying these things would have worked, but can you at times, if Odegaard's struggling, I know you're set on your ways, and I know Zinchenko probably isn't as good off the ball as Odegaard, but could Zinchenko be used in midfield? Could we have seen Martinelli up front a lot sooner? And various little bits and pieces that we've spoken about. You need to learn. Bukayo Saka, Saliba, Gabriel Martinelli, and Gabriel Jesus are all up in 2027. Some are clearly more priorities than others. Where you look at Gabriel Jesus, again, you earn a lot of money. You and Zinchenko, really and truly. So yeah, we've struggled, man. What else has he said? We need that for sure with the numbers that we started this season and the numbers to provide for next season with the demands we're going to have, and especially with players that we have who are coming through long-term surgeries, is very unrealistic to deliver trophies. Again, Arteta and the players, that's one thing. But again, those above you. You lot weren't serious then. This means you lot winged it. This tells me, if I'm looking at it sinister, those above you, you lot didn't want to win a trophy. You lot would like to win a trophy. You're cool with Champions League. You didn't put your best foot forward. Start as you mean to go on in the summer. January, you did nothing. Tells me everything I need to know. Tells me everything. Anywho's, people. So we knew we was winging it. We know that. We have to address that, and we're going to do everything we can to improve it. I hope so, man. Because like on a football pitch, I don't doubt that Mikel Arteta and the players. You'd be an idiot if you thought that the players and of all clubs didn't want to win games. But if you don't win games on the pitch, your intentions there. Why didn't you? You can try as you want to sign players. Please, September the 1st. Make sure we've added quality to the starting 11. Please make sure we've got amicable depth, because injuries are unpredictable and they can happen. But I promise you, I can only speak for myself. In the summer, if we had the window that I think we needed in terms of quality and depth, and the same thing played out with injuries, do you know what? I could say fair enough, because you've actually evidently tried to fix the situation. This just really highlights the incompetence. You was assuming everybody stayed fit. Players that are in good form weren't gonna, like, their form wasn't gonna drop. Players that were having a bit of a wobble were gonna get good form. No refereeing decisions were gonna go against us. No spanners in the works. That's not how life or football works. But I'm just an armchair expert, man. Anywho's, man. So I think I hear that, especially because we are going to lose quite a lot of players. That's interesting, because who's going on paper? On paper, it's what? Trossard, Partey, their deals are running. Sorry, Jorginho and Partey. What does that tell me? There's a lot of turnover, and this would have needed to happen. 3 to 4 years for a squad is a very long time without replenishing it. There are players out of contract. Oh, Tini as well. There are players who have come here on loan. Sterling, Neto, safe. So the squad becomes really thin on top of the injuries that we have. And what did he say earlier? We've got players coming back from long-term surgery, and players have played through the mud. Ben White, Rice, Martinelli, Kai Havertz, flipping Saka, Magalhaes. I feel sorry for the players, because you lot have given me everything. Whether I can criticize if you're good enough, if you should be at the club, if you should be playing football, I've never had to doubt the players this season's integrity, and everybody in that squad, really. So the squad becomes really thin we already know that, on top of injuries that we have. We know we have that duty, that necessity. We have players in the academy that can help, great. But if not, we know what we have to do. And then he said, people, everything that is in both boxes that makes you better, I think at the end of the day, it's a key element. We all know that. Sign a blood clot, Shaq, and stop the nonsense. Then he said he's promised a very exciting summer. I mean, Nanny, RIP, God bless your soul. You always told me a promise is a comfort to a fool. So, yeah, you can do the club. And I'm not even trying to get Arteta the club. You can do this bullish chat and do all of that. And some people will fall for it. And I hope you deliver. Seeing is believing, in it. I know I'm not going to wake up and we've got Mbappe, Vinicius, Rodrygo, this one, that one. Definitely not half of the players that we're linked with, but you get the point. It's going to be a very exciting summer. Bro, you man said that and rocked up with Raheem Sterling. So allow me, man. First of all, renewing what we have done, finding ways to increase the level of the team, finding big margins where we can still develop our game model and our players, then putting those plans together, playing the preseason. And then if we don't have enough from that, then it's about what do we need to recruit now to make the difference. Since day one, when we were interviewing for that role and we had it in front of him, it was very clear that this is, for me, what the squad needs to do to go to the next level. And we're very aligned. In Berta, we trust. And you can tell the experience he has. He's built great squads, and the majority trophies he's won. Someone with that clarity is very, very helpful. I hope so, and we're going to need you in Berta. We trust. I don't know how much one man can change things, because I think there's a complacency in life's a killer. And I think there's an element of complacency with our manager. Those above you, anyone that, those above Mikel Arteta, the whole club's been complacent. The fuck is this year? Apologies for swearing. Because it's you lot that are going to have to live with regret, As much as I love Arsenal Football Club and my heart bleeds that we ain't won a trophy in this, at the end of the day, but I've seen this for about 20 years, and I'm going to be an Arsenal fan till the day I take my last breath. Some of you lot, whether that's the manager or the players, you might win stuff here, and I hope to God you do. Some of you might, if your name's Saliba and Saka and you go to other clubs one day, if we're not winning stuff, you might go win trophies, but you might not. They're not guaranteed. Some of you at this football club, you've got a sweet gig. You won't be in semi-finals and title challenges and even talking about getting over the line elsewhere. My point being, you're going to have to live with regret. You lot are going to have to sit and linger in the summer and think about it. Regret, what you're happy for, what you're not. Ultimately didn't win anything. And we're at that point of the season now where you're seeing several cup finals. Liverpool have obviously had their parade. And you lot, you know, the same ones that saw us lead the title for 200 odd days, 2022, 23. Obviously, we know how the last day of the season played out last year, to the point where there was probably the Premier League trophy at the Emirates, and obviously where City were playing. And the Guard of Honor, you've got to use this to fuel you. And again, I feel sorry for the players, because you're at the point you need help from people above you. So it's long now, man. Like, shit, you lot did this to yourself, bro. Like, you did this to yourself, man. You did this to yourself. Would you guys sell Martinelli and or Trossard? I think everything's up for debate. I'd rather sell Trossard. He's older. It seems like there's a bit of a market. How much are you going to get for Martinelli, really and truly? You're getting Jota and Watkins. What Jota? Liverpool's. I don't think so, but if he could stay fit, I wouldn't be against it. He could help us. Bro, what's the perfect realistic summer look like for you in terms of sales and purchases? I don't know, but in terms of personnel, a striker, a left winger, a centre mid, maybe even two. I do think we need defensive reinforcements. I need to start the goalkeeping situation. And in terms of outgoings, obviously, you know, keep Partey. I'm not really going to rate Jorginho leaving because his contract's up, Tini's up. You need to get the Tavares. Well, Tavares is gone, but the Tavareses, the Lokongas, the Fabio Vieiras. I'm not naive. I don't think 11 players are coming in and 11 players are going, but we need to fix up, because when Edu and Arteta first came in, yeah, we was ripping up contracts and doing all of that. We kind of steadied the ship in that regards. And now, because of time that's followed, we're kind of in that scenario again. Like, you know me, I don't care about how much players are getting paid and all of that. But in terms of a business, there's players on wages that they're not delivering on. So these things need to change. Well, okay, you know me, I don't want to hear that, bro. Like, I don't want to hear that from Mark the Gaffer. It's dead. Like, I don't think he's wrong. We got more. If we had the points we had this year, then yeah, we win the league. But that's dead, because as I said, Liverpool have won the league with less points this year than when times they've not. That's the point. No two seasons are the same. And at the end of the day, rather than there's so much internal reflection that we need to find new ways of playing. We need to go up the gears again defensively. We obviously, a lot of it is centered around recruitment and Arteta being inflexible at times. We need to go up the gears. It's as simple as that. We have shot ourselves in the foot. The number of draws, the number of points dropped from winning positions. When we exhaust all of those things and go in depth with that, then we can look at other teams and say this and that. When we do all of that, then I might even look at refereeing decisions, which, don't get it twisted, I do think Arsenal are judged one way and another, but from a Sunday League background, you've got to expect that, man. But it is what it is, man. I don't want to keep rambling. It is what it is, man. The longer you don't get a trophy is what it is. And if we go back in time, please don't play, because we don't need copyright issues. But going back to the last day of last season, don't be satisfied, because we want much more than that, and we're going to get it. That's from the manager. But if I put the managers, the players, and everyone connected that Arsenal in the room and played that to them and how this season played out, do you think you followed through on that goal? Probably not. So, yeah, the past brings regrets. The future brings uncertainty. There's no time like the present. We need to fully accept where we are in this present moment and build for a new future. Everything that we could benefit from tomorrow needs to start today. And a lot of it's centered around recruitment. We're carrying too many players. It's too nice. It's too nice now. And I mean, I don't know if you lot saw it, people, but this week Arteta also spoke on transfers and said, the thing is that the budget is like when you have your wedding, you plan your wedding with your wife, you give her a budget and never less, it's always more. When you build a house, it's always more. Normally this happens. You prepare for different scenarios. Then unfortunate things happen. Sometimes we get a player and suddenly we have an injury, or that player gets injured. There are so many variables that can happen, but there's a budget. There's always an idea of what we can do and what we can improve, what the priorities are going to be. Then let's see if we can do it. There's no let's see, bro. It has to get done. I'm not even saying all the players are going to work, but I think as Arsenal fans, we always in this. Like, you go back to when we signed Partey, we know we needed an 8 and a 6. We think with our them times. A lot of fans, no, we need more of an 8. We need more of a 6. In previous years, we might have been going into this summer. Nah, you need a striker, left. We know we need both, but I more want a left winger. I more want a striker. You need to get everything. You've gone past that now. Striker, left winger, centre mid reinforcements, which I think is understated. Everything needs to work from a recruitment point of view. Definitely where income is a concern. There's no excuses, but I really don't want to hear nothing really. It's always I think it's always a decision that all of us have come together. Then obviously in certain aspects, the club, the financial aspects, whether it's the strategy or this and that, they have a bigger say than me, because I don't want to have an opinion on that. I would have probably I would have probably a reference, but not a strong opinion. When it's more technical or tactical aspects of how I think that a player is going to now emerge and be cohesive with a group of players that we have, and where I see them now developing what we want to do next with another player, of course, it's more in between the sporting director, in this case, Berto, myself, and all the scouting department. Okay. Well, to be fair, sometimes it's been a thoughtful decision and sometimes it's been an opportunity. Sometimes it has been luck. You make your own luck in this life, you know. But yeah, there's an element of understanding the league, having competed in the league obviously brings adaptation, time lower and risk lower. The best thing is when you have talent in the building because you have known them already for many years. And yeah, again, people don't care about this. Like, all people want to hear about is recruitment. And don't get it twisted, me the same. Recruitment is the sexiness. There's so much that Arteta has to do from a tactical and technical aspect, developing the current players that we have, taking them to a new level. We all know who. These are the things that are as important as bringing in certain things. You look at Jurgen Klopp. You remember when Jurgen Klopp walked in at Liverpool, they played the same way they did from minute 0 to minute 90. They were quite crap defensively. They started the year before they actually brought in Van Dijk and Alisson. Tactically, they became a bit street smart. They did everything they needed to. Clearly, Michael Edwards and Klopp and everyone, you saw the recruitment. Then they got the creme de la creme signings and they kept it moving. But nobody cares about developing talents. Everyone's just going to focus on recruitment. It very much is an English thing. I don't really want to hear that, man. Odegaard of finishing strongly in the summer plans. Big up, Martin. I don't really want to hear that right now. We might cover that in the next stream. Apparently, Mikel Arteta has heaped praise on Kai Havertz for his physical transformation during his hamstring injury. There's been a transformation in his body. The last 3 years in his career have been so condensed that he hasn't had time to do that. And this has been a window and he really wanted to use it. Credit to Kai Havertz, but I don't want to hear about this. The staff explained the opportunity that is with his physique to go to a different level. He got on board with that. You can see his presence. I think he destroyed all the metrics that we had in the gym for the last 10 years. Arteta, you know what? You got a sense of humor, your own banter. All of them, power, acceleration, muscle mass, the way that he has increased certain capacities in his body, his agility, he's been incredible. I was talking to the medical staff the other day. They were talking about that. For someone that has not been in the team to have that mindset, the only thing he has done is raise the standards in the building, because the other ones who were injured were looking at him saying, I'm going to look bad if I don't do the same. Cool story, dog. Cool story, my brother. We've gone over that as well. Ben White's apparently given an interview. Ben White sets Arsenal target. Okay. Ben White claims Arsenal will reluctantly accept another second place finish. There's no reluctance. You have to accept it. The man them finished second, assuming Newcastle don't win their next 2 games, excluding obviously today. I don't want to hear that. There's no way, whether you want to accept it or not, like, you're not going to finish first. So everybody needs to look in house. And I'm going to say this again. The majority of my sympathy is with the fans and the players. It's as simple as that. What has our right back said? Obviously, we can't win it, but we still want to do as well as possible, get second place, which is really important. We just want to win games, which we know we can. Fair play. This season, we've had a difficult time with injuries, and I think we've done well with that. You see other teams that have had big injuries, and they're not sitting very well in the league, which is true. But we're not like most teams. Whatever people say, we're one of the best in the league. We've been spoken about wanting to win trophies. So let's not, what other teams below us are doing, that's their business. We're a good team, great teams. Get over the line, regardless of what's thrown at you. I don't want to hear this in general. Not necessarily with Ben White. Big him up, man. Ben White, Spartan. You're right with that. So yes, we had some big injuries, and I believe that is credit to all the players that have come in and done so well. Fair play. I've never really been injured before. I didn't really know how to deal with it as well as I probably could have. So it's all a learning curve. It's just so long not doing what you love. Careful. They say you don't watch football, so you don't care, Ben White. And not being able to help the team was tough. I'm back now, feeling good, and I think it's about getting ready for next season. I'm having a baby this summer. Seems like everyone is, isn't it? So I'm going to be in England training every day and getting back to my best is something so exciting and probably the most valuable thing you can have. I'm definitely available. I spoke to him a few times. He's such a nice man, very honest. I mean, Ben White, get fit. You know, Tuchel will put you on a plane. Obviously, I haven't been back for so long. It's just about playing now and hopefully making my way in. Seeing JT Jurian Timber come back from an ACL. He's had to play every game and has done so well. It would have been ideal if I could have helped and maybe taken a bit of stress off him. Again, I feel sorry for the players. I think it's a great situation for everyone. We're two completely different fullbacks. So it's nice to have different options and different qualities to bring to the team. Fair play. What else has he said? I think you could say that about all the players. It's so funny. He hasn't trained for months yet. Came back into the team the other day and was still unbelievable. Players, big up you lot. Now, Gyökeres scored yesterday. And He's got a cup final against Benfica to worry about, but he scored some vital goals in which helped seal Sporting Lisbon's league title. And he was in tears. Maybe he's overcome with emotion for what he's achieved. Maybe it's because he knows his days in Portugal are numbered. And there's still reports that say talks are advancing between Gyökeres and Arsenal's reps. He's emerging as the number one choice, and it seems there's a willingness from all parties to get the deal done. The player is happy to come, and Sporting are happy to sell for just over 60 million. 56 games, 62 goals, and 17 assists. Now, I don't think you're going to have them. I hope so, but if you sign for Arsenal, I don't think you're going to get them monster stats. But even if you could get half or a quarter, my maths is poor. I don't know for a quarter. Admittedly, people smash the like button. It could help. Just take the risk, man. Just do this. Apparently, he has said he doesn't know what the future holds for him amid reported interest from Arsenal, Chelsea, and Manchester United. He's going to play the game, innit? You're not going to talk up the things. But what has he said? It's football. I'm still here. I don't know what's going to happen. Nobody can predict the future. He sounds like me on his politician wave. I'm very happy. It was a game that went well for us. Very happy to score and win. Everything is everything. It's what we wanted. Incredible. You can see the support. We've had so many people in the streets, not just today, but even when it's raining in November and December. It's incredible when there are so many people now. We want to celebrate together. We're in a final. We want to win in the finals. We play the finals to win. But now we want to celebrate and not think about that. Get the trophies, head to North London. William Saliba has been given an interview. He was asked the best forward he's faced in his career. He said Mbappe. Mind games have started. Do you prefer facing him or playing with him? Playing with him, of course. It's much better to play with him. Now, obviously, he's going to say that. He could be referring to France. Could be saying Mbappe heading to N5. We all know what is now going to be the drop-off with that. We are going to lose Saliba one day. Hopefully, it's when we achieve something. Hopefully, it's not for free like Trent Alexander-Arnold, but at least, like, if Saka was to leave, like, let's use Saka because Saka and Trent, they're both homegrown players, yeah. If Saka left tomorrow, left on a free, God forbid, there's the element of what if. I'm sure Trent could win a lot more at Liverpool, but he's won everything, done everything, fair enough. That's what I hope is the case when these players are leaving. I've seen Thierry Henry leave. I don't really care about it in the grand scheme of things. We all know Arsenal plan to hold Saliba contract talks. This article has said Real Madrid have a big job on their hands. I think Xabi Alonso is going to revolutionize Real Madrid. I actually think he's going to be the best manager in the world one day. And Spain got a lot of good managers. Arteta, Areola, obviously Xabi Alonso. Cesc Fabregas is linked with Leverkusen and doing his thing at Como. With the manager leaving, they could look to make big changes, and centre-back is a key area for that. Saliba has been one they've looked at, but Arsenal don't want to lose him. Apparently, Real Madrid want to still, in relation to the Bournemouth lad, they're still targeting Konate and Saliba. And especially if Xabi Alonso plays a back three. I think one thing I like about Xabi Alonso is he changes things. I've seen him play a back four and a back three, but Real Madrid need a tactical kind of man. Getting him tied down to a new contract is going to be a real priority for them, and they're planning to hold talks with him in the summer. They'll offer him a big new deal because he's an important part of the team and plans for the future. One thing that will have come as a positive to Arsenal is the talk about Dean Housen. It looks like he's the one Real Madrid want this summer and are going to push for, so that could make them ease away from Saliba. I mean, they've shown with Trent, with Mbappe, no doubt, with a Konate, with a Saliba, whoever you say that, they will wait. Real Madrid are not going anywhere. Just make sure you get the man under contract. If he goes, get a good fee. In Berta, we trust. People, there's 200 of you locked in. There's only 44 likes. You lot are violating, man. Come on, people. Mods, come on, mods. Make sure people are smashing their like button. It helps, man. Come on, come on. Don't smash the like button. Arsenal ain't doing anything. Apparently, Real Madrid's Brazilian sensation, Rodrygo, is currently locked in contract extension negotiations with the club's management. Despite both parties expressing a strong desire to continue with each other, a final agreement has yet to be reached, which is a bit different where Rodrygo's links are concerned in the last few weeks and days, leaving the winger's future in the Spanish capital hanging in the balance. This has allowed encouragement to Arsenal to make a move for the Real Madrid star in the summer transfer window. Arteta is looking to make attacking additions to his squad. Well, Rodrygo's a myth. God knows what they're going to ask for and his wages, and there's a lot to do. It's a myth. It's a myth. We're not getting him. By all means, hold me accountable if I'm wrong. We know he's versatile. He's got 13 goals and 10 assists and 50 appearances in all comps. Not really good, but he does provide dribbling ability, pace, and has a knack for scoring and his quality. So this is saying with contract negotiations. As I've said before, maybe Rodrygo sold, not necessarily to Arsenal, but elsewhere. Maybe he's had a conversation with Xabi Alonso. At Real Madrid, a lot of decisions are above board. It doesn't necessarily matter what the manager feels. But if you're Rodrygo and you do feel disillusioned at Real Madrid per se, surely you're going to have, if you haven't, have a conversation with the new incoming manager, Xabi Alonso, before you are set on your ways of leaving. Surely. Because what if Xabi Alonso, and managers are liars, but what if Xabi Alonso says, you know what, I hear that. You feel that Mbappe, Vinicius, this one, that one, they get more love than you. I'm building the team around you. What if he says that? And he's set for a hefty price tag. We all knew that. He's been linked with Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal, Paris Saint-Germain, Saudi Arabia. Everybody knows Rodrygo is going to come with serious price tag. The Spanish giants have set a valuation of around 130 to 140 million euros for the Brazilian star, a price tag reflective of his talent and potential. If an agreement is not reached, Real Madrid may be forced to consider his sale. As you can see here, people, while there's been considerable interest from major European clubs, no formal talks have taken place yet. Along with Arsenal, Paris Saint-Germain and Liverpool, closely monitoring the situation of the Brazil attacker. Real Madrid, however, remains optimistic that an agreement can be reached to keep Rodrygo at the club. Apparently, we've already sealed the signature of Zubamendi, even though there's still hijack talks with Xabi Alonso and Real Madrid. You lot know I want Ryan Cherky. I don't think Arsenal are in the race. Apparently, he's announced that he's going. Apparently, as a gentleman's agreement, the 21-year-old could leave his current employers for 22.5 million euros. So what's that? 19 million pounds? Bring him, man. Liverpool, City, Spurs are interested. With how Slot plays, and there's not as much as Klopp, but an emphasis on intensity. And again, we've never heard from any official channels that any of these clubs are interested. But if Liverpool think he can work hard off the ball, why can't we? The same goes for Pep and City, where probably City's the best example, where it's all structured and all of that jazz. Tottenham hot shite. I mean, it's a small club. They're playing young players. There's no real pressure or expectations. You can see Man United cancelling their trophy parade for the Europa League. Spurs undoubtedly won't do that. If Ryan Cherky wants to make an intermediate step player, a small club, play without pressure, learn, and then depart for a bigger club, if he did sign for Spurs, then I get it. I have to throw shade, you know, the vibes, people. And you would have seen this week as well. Arsenal's determination to complete transfers quickly this summer has left European rivals, including Barcelona, stunned. The Gunners' speed in lining up targets has forced others to recalibrate and rethink their own strategies. Sane has rejected the offer of a new contract at Bayern Munich and mid-links with the Premier League and La Liga. He's expected to become a free agent this summer, says Sky Germany. Napoli will target a move to sign Kivior again this summer, but they want Arsenal to lower their 30 million asking price. No. Pay or take it away. Lie that, man. Forget all of that. Xavi Simons, as we've heard, like Sesko, wants to leave Leipzig this summer, and apparently Leipzig can't get Champions League football, so that adds fuel to the fire. Would you spend 80 million euros on Xavi Simons, people? Please let me know. Xabi Alonso apparently is still keen for Real Madrid to beat Arsenal to the signing of Martin Zubamendi. I have covered this. Who knows with Zubamendi, man? Who really knows with Zubamendi? What is this? Arsenal still linked with Igor Jesus, the 24-year-old who's only played in Brazil and the Middle East. Don't know if I believe that, so I'm not really going to give it time. Barcelona apparently back on the Nico Williams foul. In the coming weeks, signing a winger remains Deco's main priority, and Nico Williams is back on the radar. Some notable departures are expected in defense. Fair enough. Anyone having Kevin De Bruyne? I'm speaking to clubs about my future. Yes, I want to play good football, whatever the decision. Staying in England, it depends who comes. I have family, kids. I have to take care of a decision that suits everybody. The decision is complex. Anyone taking a chance on him at Arsenal? We've gone over that already. So good, it's twice. How much do you lot think Eze is worth, man? I'm all on signing Eze. Apparently, Spurs have a strong advantage over Arsenal in signing Eze, according to reports. What is this? And City. He's determined to play Champions League. Okay. I don't think we're going to buy Eze. I'd love him. Contracted until 2027, though. If Eze refuses to sign a new contract at Palace, he'll enter the final 12 months of his contract. What better way to leave? And he did leave Arsenal and cried and whatnot when he got released as a youngster. Liverpool are yet to table a firm offer for Kirkes, who was linked with Real Madrid, but that doesn't seem to be happening. We need a left back. Would you take Kirkes for 45 million? Apparently, Liverpool are also eyeing Joel Hato, who I would prefer, and I think he's quality, man. We were linked this week with Garassi, who has 75 appearances and 76 goal contributions over his last two seasons for Stuttgart. Tried the accent thing, he did it bang, but God loves a trial. And Dortmund. So yeah, Emi Martinez. Imagine that we had all these keepers at once and they were all meaty, but at the time they were all meaty. Martinez has offers from Manchester United and Barcelona, as well as the Middle East. Barcelona, massive club. I'm sure Messi's putting a word in. Man United,